and welcome back to my channel and to Bookish Bingo, round number 8. I'm pretty sure it's round number 8. So first of all, let me talk a little bit about my May TBR. Some of you may remember that I gave myself a pretty chill TBR for May. And as I'm filming this, I have almost completed my TBR. There's still a few days left of the month. And as I'm filming this, I have less than 100 pages left of the final book on my TBR. So I will complete that TBR for sure. So that means no punishment prompts this month. So yeah, I guess that's all I really need to say before we get into the bingo part. I am curious to see what the Bookish Bingo have in store for me this month. If I'll get another chill month or if I will get some more difficult prompts maybe. But yeah, I guess we'll see. So let's play Bookish Bingo round number 8. So here we are. Let's see what the bingo has in store for us this month. We're starting off with number 2. And the prompt is non-fiction. Then we have number 1. And the prompt is highest number and add an extra prompt. Number 13. And we have the lowest number and add an extra prompt. Number 11. A to Z. And number 10. And the prompt is a book with a dark cover. Number 22. And the prompt is animal or nature on the cover. Number 21. And the prompt is a first book in a series. Number 16. And there we have translated. And we already almost have a bingo. Number 6 will give me a bingo. There's still plenty of numbers, so we'll see. Number 17, which is a young adult. Number 24. A female author. Then we have number 15. And that is a romance. Number 7. That's a book with a person or people on the cover. And we have another bingo opportunity on the board. Number 12 would give me a bingo. But we have number 19, which is TBR Jar. Which means we have another bingo chance on the board, which is number 25. And we have number 8. which is a book with 5 or more words in the title. Number 25, which is a POC author. And we have our bingo. And this is also the most prompts in 1 month that the bingo has ever given me. Let me bring you over so we can take a closer look at it. So we're starting off at the top with the highest number plus add an extra prompt. We're moving on to person or people on the cover. Then we have the lowest number and add an extra prompt. We have TBR Jar. I think this is the first time I've ever had that prompt. And finally we have POC author, and I think it might actually also be the first time I have that prompt. But let's see which prompts on the board are on the highest and the lowest numbers, because I'm also doing those prompts. So the lowest number that's not a part of the bingo is the prompt on number 2, and that is a non-fiction. Yeah, so that is a prompt I'm doing this month. And the highest number that is not part of the bingo is the prompt on number 24. So that is female author. So I guess it's safe to say that June will not be as chill as May was. I've never been giving that many prompts from the Bookish Bingo before. There are 7 altogether. So yeah, that's new. So yeah, let's just go through the prompts, all 7 of them, and see what the extra prompts are and what I plan to read for all of them. So the first prompt that I got was the highest number plus add an extra prompt. And the highest number, or the prompt on the highest number on the board that wasn't part of the bingo, that was to read a book by a female author. I feel like I get this prompt a lot, actually. I'm not mad about it though. It's like a nice wide prompt, so yeah, it's fine. But yeah, what I plan to read for that prompt is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. This is the sequel to Strange the Dreamer, which I read back in, was it April? I think it was April. I really enjoyed that book, and it ended in a way that I wasn't expecting. And it made me really curious to see where things are going to go, because I think things could get pretty interesting. So yeah, for that reason I didn't want to wait too long before I picked up the second book. This is also the final book in the series. It's a duology, so it would be nice to just finish up another series and eventually move on to something else. So yeah, I'm reading Muse of Nightmares in June. Then of course we need to pick the extra prompt that I got with that one. So I have the rest of my stack here. These are the prompts that wasn't picked for the bingo. So let's just pick what prompt I'm doing and hope that the bingo is a little nice to me, maybe. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick this one. What is it? Oh, it's wildcard. That suits me perfectly. Like, thank you, Bookish Bingo. That was great. And I actually know exactly what book I want to read for this prompt. So let me just go and get it. So the book that I want to read for the wildcard prompt is Heartstopper, Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. As some of you may know, Heartstopper Volume 4 was recently released. So I obviously want to read that one pretty soon, but I do want to reread the first 3 volumes before I do. So I'm going to start off with reading Volume 1 in June. If I get time, I'll probably move on to Volume 2 and maybe Volume 3 as well. I don't want to rush through these though. Like, I am enjoying them so much that I just want to like take my time with them. But yeah, I'm going to start off with Volume 1, put that on my TBR, see if I have time to read any of the others, and then hopefully get to Volume 4 soon as well. So yeah, this will obviously be a reread. I've read this one twice before, but yeah, I love it so much. So I'm reading Heartstopper in June. Then the next prompt that I got was to read a book with a person or people on the cover. I feel like I'm getting this prompt a lot as well. I've had it at least a couple of times, I think. But again, not mad about it. It's a good prompt. So for this prompt, I'm planning to read a book that would also fit into one of my Pop Sugar reading prompts, and that prompt is to read a book with something broken on the cover. I didn't have a lot of books like that, but I have found one. I found one book on my Kindle that's called Don't Let Go. It's written by T. N. Nova and R. Phoenix. It seems to have something like, looks like broken glass or something on the cover. And it also has a person on the cover. So this fits perfectly. This is, I think, a contemporary romance. It sounds like it's kind of maybe like an emotional, hard-hitting type of romance. It seems to be about two people, a musician and an artist, and both of them are kind of dealing with some mental illness and things like that. Yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I hope it's going to be good. I'm actually not usually drawn to romances about musicians for some reason. I don't know why, because it's not like I've read a ton of them, so I don't really have an opinion about them, but for some reason they just don't interest me as much usually. So I am curious to see how I'll feel about this one, and maybe I'll love it and I can just put that whole not being interested in books about musicians like to rest and just, yeah. But I guess we'll see. So yeah, I'm reading this book in June. Then I got another double prompt. That was to read the lowest number on the board and add an extra prompt. And the prompt that was on the lowest number on the board that wasn't part of the bingo was to read a non-fiction. And for this, I am planning to read All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. It says on the cover that it's a memoir manifesto. And I actually, when I bought this, I didn't know that this was non-fiction. I thought it was like a contemporary or something. But I assume that it's non-fiction since it says it's actually a memoir. So it seems to be about George Johnson, the author, and about him like growing up being black and queer. And it sounds just really good. It's supposed to be like a series of essays. So I think it's going to be really good. I absolutely love this cover as well. I'm not gonna lie, this book was like partly a cover buy because I just thought the cover was really gorgeous, but you know, I've heard good things about the book as well. It seems to be getting pretty high ratings. So yeah, and June, you know, obviously being Pride Month, I'm just trying to add a lot of queer books on my TBR this month. Like, I usually do that anyway, but I'm focusing on it a little bit extra this month, I guess. So yeah. Reading this book in June just sounds perfect. And then of course we need to pick the extra prompt for that one as well. So again, I have my stack. So let's pick the next prompt and see what it is and hope once again that it's something good. So yeah, let's do this one. Oh, it's a Pop Sugar challenge prompt. And that basically means that, you know, I'm going to read a book that completes one of the prompts for the Pop Sugar reading challenge, which is perfect, you know, because I'm always like working towards a challenge. But yeah, what to read? Let me just think about it for a second. Okay, so I had a look at the prompts that I've not completed yet. So the book I've decided to read is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. And this book will complete the prompt to read a dark academia book. So I'll admit, I'm not super interested in the dark academia genre. I've actually read a number of books in that genre, or maybe I should say subgenre, and I haven't loved any of them, so I'm just like realizing it's not quite my thing. So when I saw that this prompt was a part of the Pop Sugar reading challenge this year, I wasn't super excited about it. So I've just been looking for books that I could potentially read for it that I am interested in, and this book is one of them. I'm not sure that I would have picked it up if it wasn't for this challenge, but it is one that I'm interested in. I've heard good things about it. I've heard that it's pretty dark. It's supposedly about like a teacher-student relationship, I think. And yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be pretty dark, so yeah, I guess we'll see what I'll think about this one. I plan to listen to it on audio. I do need an audiobook on my TBR this month, and I didn't really have one. So that fits perfectly, but the audiobook is super long. I think it's like 15 hours long. But yeah, I'm curious to see what I'll think about this one. It could go both ways, I think. Then I got the prompt to read a book from my TBR jar. And this is actually the first time I've had this prompt for the Bookish Bingo. It basically means that I will just pick a book title for my TBR jar, which will consist of like most of the books from my TBR. Physical books and ebooks. So I'm actually just going to do like a digital TBR jar, because when I sat down a while ago to make this TBR jar and put together like the list of books that I wanted to use, there were just so many books and I just didn't have time to sit down and write each of them on like a slip of paper. So I've just like made a list on my computer of all the books that I'm including in this, and then I'm going to use like a random number generator. I'm going to pick a number and I'm going to read the book that corresponds with that number. But yeah, let me just get my phone so I can do like a random number generator thing. So I have my phone. The list of books that I have, it consists of 130 books. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 130. Like I said, most of the books on my TBR are on there, but not all of them. I have not included books that are like later books in a series that I haven't started, obviously. I have not included like holiday themed books or like books that I just want to read at a specific time of the year. Those I've not included. And I've also not included most of the like short stories and novellas that I have on my Kindle, just because I don't really know how long a lot of them are, and I just didn't want to end up with a book or a story that's like 10 pages long. So I didn't include most of them. I included some of the ones that I know the length of I have included. So yeah, there are 130 books on the list. I'm excited to see what book I'll end up with, because it could literally be anything. I have a lot of like random stuff, especially on my ebook TBR. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Let's just do a number between 1 and 130 and generate. Okay, I got number, don't know if you can see that. It's number 95. Pretty sure that's going to be an ebook, because I think most of my ebooks were like further down on the list, but let me just check. Okay. The book on number 95 is one called Cabin Fever by Ro Horvath, and I have no idea what this is, so let me just look it up. Okay, so this seems to be like an erotic romance, which I wasn't aware of. So I'm expecting it to be probably a lot steamier than the other romances I read, even though, you know, most of them can get pretty steamy. It seems to be like a bodyguard romance. Some of you might remember that I read a couple of those, I think, earlier this year. Just by accident. It wasn't like I was particularly looking them up or something. I think I really liked one of them and the other was just okay. So I'm curious to see how I feel about this one. It is a trope that I like, so I am pretty excited about this actually. But yeah, it seems to be like a bodyguard romance. And the two of them seem to like end up in a cabin, because one of them has received, he's like super rich I think, so he's received some threats, so they go to this remote cabin or something and they're there together, and I guess stuff is going to happen. But yeah, I'm not mad about this one. It's like, I'm actually kind of excited, because this is one of those books that would probably have stayed on my Kindle unread for years if it hadn't been picked for this prompt. So I'm excited to get to it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not mad. So I really hope that I'm going to enjoy this. I haven't read by this author before, so I guess we'll see. And then finally, prompt number 7 that the Bookish Bingo gave me was to read a book by a POC author. And for this prompt, I am planning to read The Summer of Everything by Julian Winters. I've just been meaning to pick up this book this summer, because, you know, it's based on the title. I'm going to assume that it takes place during the summer, and it's just like super bright and summery. So I've been looking forward to reading this, and June is like officially anyway the first summer month here, so it feels like a good time to read this book. So it seems to be about a guy, and he has a crush on his best friend, and he also like works in a indie bookstore, which just sounds amazing. And yeah, I'm assuming we're probably going to follow him over the course of the summer, maybe. I'm just very excited to read this book, because I've heard such good things. I've heard good things about this book, and I've heard good things about the author, and I've not read anything by him before. So yeah, this just sounds like the perfect book to read for June, for summer, for Pride Month, So yeah, super excited to read this book. So here is the physical part of my June TBR, and then of course I have 2 ebooks and 1 audiobook as well, so 7 books altogether. I feel like this video was kind of messy with just different prompts and having to pick prompts and TBR jars and all that stuff, but I hope it wasn't too confusing or anything. It's a ambitious TBR. It's the first time that I have 7 books on my TBR after bingo. I think I could do it. Apart from Muse of Nightmares, neither of the books are super long, and obviously I have a graphic novel with Heartstopper, and the 2 ebooks I don't think are very long either. Obviously the audiobook is pretty long, but it's the only audiobook I have on my TBR this month, so I think that's going to be fine. So yeah, I'm excited about this TBR. There are some books I'm really looking forward to reading. Of course, I'm excited to reread Heartstopper and just reading some queer books for Pride Month, and yeah, just having a good time in June. I hope so anyway. So that was round number 8 of Bookish Bingo. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I put on my TBR this month, if you're interested in reading any of them. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this kind of messy video, I feel like. But if you liked it, you can always hit like on my video, or you could subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!